Hello, students. Mr. Young here. Hey, welcome to Chapter 19. We sort of bounced ahead a little bit. We were working on. Where is it? There we go. Chapter 12. Boom! Hopping up to 19. Skipping chapters that we're going to do later. We're kind of moving in a very historically linear fashion now. We're going to start to cover broader tracks of time. See, we're going to go from medieval Europe to Bangarang, the Renaissance, boom, exploration of trade and trade. All of a sudden, we're in the scientific revolution, the Enlightenment, and then revolutions, American, French, and otherwise. Industrial, all kinds of stuff. Boom, World War One, World War Two, modern age. So we're like halfway through the school year, and time is going to start moving very fast. We've been doing a lot of ancient stuff. Now we're going to start to move through history faster. After the fall of Rome, you have the Middle Ages. This chapter is called Medieval Europe. So basically, what's going to happen in Europe now that Rome is done? On that topic, we cover, there's a lot in this chapter. It's a lot of lessons. It's 5 lessons in the book. I broke it into 6 because I gave the Crusades their own lesson. It was like a couple paragraphs in the book. And I was like, that does not do justice to the Crusades. So let's take a quick look at what we've got in this chapter. Lesson 1, the early Middle Ages. This is a whole lot of history and names, and there's some geography in there like we always hit up. A lot of different kings and kingdoms forming really throughout the entire chapter. Lesson 2, feudalism and the rise of towns. We're talking about sort of the system of government they had. It was called, and economics, called feudalism. We'll learn how people lived, things like that. 3, kingdoms and crusades. More about kingdoms forming, ones we generally recognize now, like France and Britain and all that jazz. How did people come to power there? There's Vikings in this chapter at some point. I think they kind of mingle in and out because they weren't so much. They were an important factor in history, but never like a strong, solid kingdom. More like raiders that just show up and loot your town. Lesson 4. Culture and the church. So turns out Roman Catholicism is going to be a kind of a big deal throughout the history of Europe and the West. Lesson 5, the late Middle Ages. How are things going to shake out? It's very brief. Like I said, I broke this into 6 lessons, so this is our largest chapter to date, but we're just going to plug through it one day at a time. You can see the shakeout here. The 24th was the end of the marking period. 25th it's a switch day. Basically, we give the teachers who teach like half year courses, like your music class and stuff. They need a day to switch all the kids over. So we have an extra no work due day. Now, boom, we're back. It's 27th, or 20. That's 26th rather. I haven't switched the date yet. And we're going to start the vocab quiz. There's a lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, our Crusades lesson, 4, 5, and then a study day, and then a test, which is going to be a little on the large end because it's a big chapter. So that's what we're looking at. But like I said, we'll just plug through it one day at a time, and I'm sure we'll do fine. We'll all do fine. It'll be great. A lot of information though, a lot of opportunity to look further into these things because we cover so much. We cover it briefly. So go ahead, bump onto the vocab. On the very next page, some things we'll talk about: manners, serfs, knights, lots of fighting, chivalry, princesses, kings, all that jazz, So go ahead, bump onto the next page, and take a look at the vocab. There'll be a video there of me hopefully not butchering your vocabulary. I think we'll be good. We're getting into Western culture. And then I believe it's just your standard vocab quiz on the next page. Let's just take a look. Yep, vocab quiz, 15 points. That's it. All right. Move on to the next page. I'll see you there, and then lesson 1 the next day.